Okay. Welcome to another stream with Endless.
We're back.
We're back. We have a little agenda today. So today we're gonna just jump right into kind of a full start to finish example, I guess. Right?
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna mod a game, not overdo it.
Yep.
We're gonna mod a game, not overdo it, and then walk through how to actually save that, store it, and even submit it.
Yeah. So I've got the four steps of the agenda here. Yeah, it's going to look like forking Everlasting Candy, which is our sample game that we're going to use today. And then we're going to create a world within that game in Godot. We're going to save our work using Git. And finally, we'll make a pull request using GitHub and show you how you can actually share that back to the upstream project, the real game. So, all right.
Maybe so that I don't get carried away with my level, which I promised not to do. I promised Cassidy not to try to get carried away and break the game. Maybe we could talk about some ideas as we go, Cassidy.
Yeah, we can talk about things we would want to do, but maybe shouldn't.
Not on this one. Yeah, not on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, I guess without further ado, if you can share your screen, we can jump in.
I'll go for it.
Start there.
Yeah, let me move the camera off here.
I was going to do a
quick.
quick.
Can you see my browser?
I can. Let me share it so everyone else can see it too, because that's not going to help if it's just me. Yes. All right. We can see your browser and your face.
So I'm on. Okay. So part one we want to do today. Why is this our part one? So I thought I would navigate to the candy wrapper, this version of candy wrapper, Everlasting Candy, which is a forked version of this game, correct?
Yeah, so it's a let's see how to explain it simply. It's a fork of the original candy wrapper game, but we have added the ability to contribute other levels to it.
Cool. So we can contribute to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed that the way if I was just like we said, we're going to make a simple level and that kind of thing. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet with the game. I haven't made enough levels or changed it enough that I know for sure that my first level is going to be amazing or anything like groundbreaking. But I do want to make one and give this a try. And that's what we're going to do today. So can you explain to me why I know that with these repositories, I could make my own branch.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me what we're going to do today and how that's a little bit different? But yeah.
So normally, if you have permissions on this repository, so like if you're a contributor, if you're a developer of this game, you would have permissions to push directly to this repository and have branches on this repository. Now, if you're part of our learning programs, depending on how it's set up, we might have that. Like you might have permissions to push branches to the upstream game. And we can protect certain branches so people can't go in there and mess things up like the main branch or anything. However, in a lot of open source projects, the first step that you'll do is actually make a fork to your own account. And that gives you, when you fork it, it gives you a space to actually to play. It gives you a space on your GitHub account and your profile. And you can still really easily make a pull request from your fork back to the original project. So
it's not completely severed from this.
Yeah.
So if I did do something cool at some point, man, did I think I really want to share this back, I have that ability still.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully we'll step through that today. But yeah, that's the reasoning for that fork. And sometimes it's a matter of preference if you have permissions up to the upstream project. Like some people prefer you to make a fork or some people prefer you to work just in your own, but it really never hurts to work within a fork on your own account.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll start there.
Okay. So create a fork. I see it right here in the top right.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. I thought I've never done that. Okay. There's me. This will be the owner of this forked repository.
Mm-hmm.
Should I change the name?
No, you can leave it the same. If you were going to be turning this into something completely different, you wanted to rebrand it and everything. But no, if it's actually helpful, I think, to keep the same name, because then people, when they visit your account, they'll see that it is based on that same thing.
And okay, so had there been a million other feature branches or extra versions of this game besides the main branch, I could bring all of them with me if I wanted?
Right. Yeah, if you knew you wanted to do that, but it'll be a little bit faster if you only choose the main branch there.
Got it. Going for it.
All right. I'm going to do a quick audio check for anybody, and I'm also going to check the chat. I do have the chat pulled up this time, so if there is anybody watching live, not comments afterwards, but live, we can see your chat, so drop a chat.
All right, I'll trust you'll relay that to me.
Yeah, I will. I will.
You pushed the fork button wrong. Try it again.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're good. We're good so far. So far, so good.
Okay, cool. So I forked it. I can tell that in the top left, I think, because it says I'm like, this is what my brain does. I'm nervously like, am I on mine? Because things are named similar, or where am I now?
Yeah. Yep. You've
So
got your name there.
Yeah, I can see that this is my forked version of that repository. Oh, and there it is. There's my way back. I'm guessing. You tell
that
me.
is a way back. Yeah. So you can basically, if you hadn't changed anything yet, and then right now somebody pushed something to the endless version upstream, you could click that and get those changes without really messing things up too much. You still have to pull it on your local computer, which I guess we're going to do that next anyway.
So this is cool because I kind of thought that you had to do a pull request only on the main repository, but now we're on a forked one and you're saying I can do that anyway. So that'll be fun. Okay, so I have this. So actually now I'm going to have to clone this one.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask you, actually. We didn't discuss this ahead of time, but do you have GitHub Desktop set up, and do you want to do it in GitHub Desktop, or should we go ahead and just do it in the Git command line where you're probably more familiar?
For this time, do you mind if we do it in Git commit?
Works for me.
Sorry, Git command line?
Yeah. No, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about it ahead of time, but yeah, whichever one works for you.
I do have this. We could go back. Okay. Let's see what we have for time. Maybe we could do that. Okay. So let me downsize this window now. This folder's not going to help because that's the original. I have to make a new folder.
Right. Yeah.
My forked copy.
Sure. And remember, since you're gonna clone in that folder, it'll have a folder in that folder. The way you're doing it here.
Yeah. So that right there won't matter. That'll just help me. That name. So now I'm going to right click on this folder, hit show more. This is for Windows, but hit show more options. And then I get finally to see open Git bash here, which is my preferred way to use Git. But like you said, if we have time, we could do the desktop. I'm going to open that. All right. So I'm going to clone.
Yep.
That okay? Git clone space. I can't push Control C and V. I have to hit paste, right click and paste. Yeah. So this, and again, this is now, I can see my name in the URL. Okay, that's good. All right, clone. Got it. Now I've grabbed my forked version of it. But this is the part where I X out, I go into that folder, and there it is. Yep. And I will reopen it. And I will know I'm good because I now see the word main in this color here. Cool. Perfect. I'm just going to leave that open like we've talked about I do sometimes, just so in case I need to undo something.
Yeah, it's just there in the background for you.
Okay, so now I'm going to open Godot. We're cruising. Now our goal, we forked it. We brought that fork down. So our goal now is to, I'm not going to talk while I do that, is to build a level. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to import, and then I'm going to go to my desktop. Easier here. And what did I say? Call it F.
My forked or something, or what did you call it? I don't remember what you called it.
Good. I think what I have to do, and I found it, is clean up my desktop.
Clean up your desktop. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You click into the folder. I don't really need to like grab all this, or I just
got to select the project. Yeah. And interesting. Yeah, it's you can also actually go just into the folder and open the project.godot like on your desktop, not before you even open Godot. I think you can open that .project folder, and I think it will open in Godot. I'm not 100% sure. That's the way it works on my computer, but I'm not sure on Windows if it associates it the right way or not.
Okay. I'll grab it from here this time, but yeah, this magic.
Wherever you cloned it.
All the others are opaque, and this one's like kind of
Yep.
half see-through. So, okay. And then it's all green. It's not yelling at me as
Valid
to where I
project.
put all that stuff.
Yep. Import and edit that.
And then it just, sorry, one sec. It jumps to my other window. Okay. Oh, yeah. I can see changes. Cool. Let me zoom all the way into this tiny game. Okay. I saw that the some of the things in here were like 8 pixels by 8 pixels or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
true pixel art. It's true pixel art.
Awesome.
So when you zoom in, it's doing the actual pixel rendering, which is kind of cool.
Okay. So I'm just going to load this for a sec.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I need to warn you about the volume or.
I think we should be good. I'll make sure it's not blasting people away on the stream.
Okay. Here we go. I just want to see the new changes.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't hear it.
Well, I don't think there's music until you start your level, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So this play Candy Wrapper. There we go.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing audio in the stream now. I'm turning it way down just so it's there.
Got it. Okay. And then I want to launch this again. I want to see the extra worlds thing. This is a sample. I'll check it out.
And right now it has the same starting screen, I think, right?
Okay. But that seems borderline. Oh, no, that's right.
Because you can wrap.
Okay, I died immediately. Hold on. There we go. I had to think of the angle.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
So there you go. So it works, right? So we have a folder called sample. I guess let's show it in the file, which your face is over. So I'm going to move your head over to the right side. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So
you sure you don't want to see my awesome gameplay anymore?
I think we can just show.
It's enough. Okay. All right. So
the original game.
The original.
Yeah. Yep. It's there in under Candy Wrapper. So that's all the original game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are just numbered very plainly, but each one of these scenes, which any collection of nodes in Godot to be a template for some part of your game, all of these scenes are just levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any one of these, I'm just going to click because I want to see one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to zoom in again. But yeah, there's a level. That's level 4, which I did not make it to. Oh, no, I was on the other worlds anyway. The scene is tiny. It just consists of a single tile map because the developer cleverly, I think, made it so that you can paint the player onto the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game knows to place the actual player there.
Right.
That's a cool feature. Same with the bad guys. Anyway. Okay, so that's the main game. Is in this Candy Wrapper folder.
Yep. And then similarly, under worlds, we have this is where you'll put your new world. And there's a sample there, obviously, right? Okay,
so organizationally, maybe I kind of want to get that out of the way. I don't want to be working out of the space that I should be in. So if my world's supposed to go there, should I maybe make a blank folder now?
Exactly. Yeah. You'll want your own folder in that world, and you're going to try to, as much as possible, stay within that world or that folder. And that makes it easier so that like each person has their own place to play, but you're not stepping on other people's toes, right? Okay. You're not kind of like last time we moved, like, we moved that. We're like, oh, well, let's get level 2 out of the way. Let's put it at level, 22 or whatever. And so like we're avoiding that by each person gets their own space to play in.
Yeah, and by the way, I was just nodding yes to you, and the music from the game, I was actually like rocking out to that music.
Nice.
So that's going to be stuck in my head for a long time, I think now.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway, world. So I can click on this, and I can right click it and hit create new, and I'm just going to make a new folder.
And this
you want your name on this?
Sure. That's where we're gonna play. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what characters are valid. I don't know what it's gonna do with spaces. We're gonna find out. Because that's exactly what a learner would do.
The ampersand?
Yeah.
We will find out.
Yeah, exactly. And then what I would probably do is just copy 0, 1, and 999. I think the way this works is 0 is the title screen. 999 is the whatever the last, is the like you win screen or the you died screen. I think it's the you win screen. And then copy those into your world as a starting point, probably.
It wants me to.
Oh, weird.
Oh, move or duplicate.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever selected multiple files and said that, because I know you can just like right
That's
click and copy.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that was me trying to do it fast,
Or
and then it
duplicate.
did
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I want to duplicate. Yes.
Yeah. It's asking for the name. Oh, and it's funny. Actually, the duplicate to actually is probably useful, because you can just say duplicate to the Justin Cassidy folder. So maybe that's actually a decent way to do it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I did it there, it's going to say you already have
Yeah. Yeah. It's
a
gonna be like
world with
name it
that
something
name.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put it here.
And you're
Copy.
copying. Yeah, not moving. Yep.
Change from duplicate to copy.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is
anyway,
interesting.
I'll do that to each one.
Yeah. So I guess you can select. You can select multiple, and then say duplicate to your that folder.
Got it.
Cool.
Well, I'm playing it safe now.
Yeah,
Going
no, it's
through
fine.
that.
We didn't know.
Okay.
We didn't know exactly what was going to happen.
So here's we've got title screen, we've got a level. We could always change that later. And this is what is the purpose of this level?
So go ahead and open it up, and you'll see. I think it's just whatever the highest numbered one. Oh wait, that is not what I expected. Actually, I thought the last level is like your you win or you die screen, but I may be wrong about that. Unless they just.
Well, this won't stop us from making a level.
All right, you don't. There's no you died screen. I think it's the you win screen. So you could just do something else on this, yeah, as your last
Okay,
one.
cool.
And we are seeing this, like, full disclosure, we are seeing this a bit like in progress, as like the tech team, the Endless tech team is like just added this functionality. So we're the first people testing, which is kind of fun.
This is early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to. Oh, cool. Okay, I've never done it that way. So normally I would go up here, hit the plus sign, add like this empty tab and start building a scene and then save it back to that. I'm just, for some reason now, I want to stick within my folder nervously.
Yeah.
So I'm going to right click the folder, go to create new and make a new scene.
Yeah. Or you could start with one of those scenes that we just copied.
I could do that.
Yeah. That's why we copied them, right?
Okay. Oh, that's why we were doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to alter this, not make a new one?
I think so. I think.
Okay.
Because at least we'll know everything's like the layers are set up correctly and stuff from the start.
Got it. All right, so I'm gonna destroy this world. Okay, so I'm on world 1. Again, these worlds. I'm on level 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
This level is just what's called a scene in Godot, and it has all the building blocks would be here, except for the simplicity of this is kind of cool. It's just one node. A powerful one called the tile map layer, which lets you build out, tiles for a world.
Yeah, because you're selected specifically on that one TSCN, that number 1 scene. So it just has whatever's in that scene is loaded right now.
Right, versus, and I can do both at the same time. But if I were to go and search for other scenes in this, like the game scene, has here now, you can see a collection of nodes, the heads-up display, a camera, something called a candy spawner. I think that's the background candy. The bad guys, that kind of stuff, some audio. So this tree of nodes is only related to this scene, whereas the one we're working on just has this. And you can build a bunch of this, as many as you want.
Exactly.
So, okay, cool. So make a world. I guess I want the eraser first.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to change things. Okay, so I'm going to click on, I have all these different pictures that are set up for this tile map layer. The way I'm just going to back up for a second, Cassidy, and just to show, because I know we're modifying one, but I would kind of like to show how it got here.
Yeah.
So over here, when I click on tile map layer in the top left, the inspector, all the properties of this tile map are shown over here. All the different categories and things we can change together. And one of them is called tile set, which is basically the asset that's going to be used so that I can paint the world using these pictures. In this case, it's set to this thing called tile set resource. If I were to clear that out like that, kind of just deleted the whole world.
Yeah.
It's okay. We still have the node. I just have to load back in. I'm going to go to quick load. This is going to serve up any resource or any kind of asset that might work well for a tile set might be okay to use for this kind of aspect of your node. So I'm going to go to quick load, and there's only one, and I'm
Right.
going to use that again, and there it is. We're
Yeah.
back.
So the idea is we could make a new tile set if we wanted with different tiles, ideally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could click down here. It's a little confusing, but when you get this bottom panel, I'm on tile map right now, and it's ready for me to sort of click on what I want to use to paint.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to load in my own, I could go to this tile set button, and I could bring in new pictures. And Godot essentially will, in a number of different ways, allow you to carve up a picture into individual tiles, and you just get to set it however you want,
Yeah.
which has already been done for us.
Yep.
Cool. So a very simple set of 9 tiles here. I can click on one and paint. I don't know why I put that there, just to show.
Yeah.
I can click on and drag across multiple, and I get like a bigger object or a set
I
of tiles.
forgot you could do that.
Yep. And I can go across them all, and sometimes people set up pre-build those in patterns and terrains. There are none here, but you could do that. Anyway,
put a big old block.
I'm going to erase because I want to get rid of some of this. So there's an eraser tool right here across the top. I amazingly constantly forget to uncheck that later. You're probably going to watch me do that, and then I'm going to be
you start to
wondering
draw,
why.
and you're like, why is it not working?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna. I kind of want to make this my own. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, we're not stepping on anybody else's toes here, right? Because it's
a sample.
It's a sample, and we created our own. And you are in the right scene, right? Yeah, you're in the Justin and Cassidy world specifically.
Yes. I created this specifically within here. Yeah. So I accidentally deleted the border, which I thought was kind of cool. So let me put that back.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, look, I almost forgot the eraser. Cool. Okay. All right. Remember, I don't know if I told you this the other day, but I kind of wanted to see what it looked like when, let's say, like I make a platform, Cassidy, and then, but like, yeah, let me make it a little bigger, and I'm gonna put a bad guy whoops, that's not a bad guy. I'm gonna put a bad guy immediately right there. So you're greeted with that because I'm gonna put the player. Can the player like fall to the platform? Like,
yeah, it should be able to.
I want to do that. Maybe like when you hit play on this level, you have to react quick.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other thing I kind of wanted to do was just see what the physics would do if I had like a kind of normal start. Got to deal with bad guys the whole way. I'm being mean. None there. And then what I wanted to do was take bad guys, and what if will they fall?
Oh yeah, I think they should.
Or like, can you jump on them if they
they
don't fall?
Can you use them as platforms? You're making this first level ridiculous. That's great.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then you land. Yeah, I'll leave it alone.
That's funny though.
One last bad guy. Okay. And you really can't, or you could go up if you came from, anyway. Okay, so here's my level. Love it. I need to test it probably. So how do I do that? I'm in our world. I almost said it was mine. This is ours. You have veto power. Is there anything about this level you want to change? Speak now.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I would probably make this not the first level, but we can start. We can start this way.
So, yeah, if we were trying to introduce a concept or maybe have increasing difficulty, ultimately this might be further down the list in our world than level 1. That's a good point.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do I run this? Okay, so I'm going to run the whole game and see if I can select it in the world selector.
Okay. Yeah. We haven't even tried that. Curious to see. Should be under
extra world.
Justin and Cassidy world. Look at that.
Let me make this big.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, there we are. Cool. And okay, let's see what happens. Didn't break.
So we've got this first starting thing. Oh my gosh.
That was done for me. Okay.
Oh, so interesting.
Oh, they didn't fall.
If they're not on a platform, they don't fall. Oh, right, because they can't. They have logic that says they can't walk off an edge, right? Because they can't
Yeah, so they
walk
just
off in it.
patrol.
So they just sit there, and so they're little killer
They
platformer things.
patrol in the air. They only move
That's
left,
amazing.
right.
That's funny.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, we've got our world. What was next on our agenda? I've lost track. I was
No worries. Yeah.
making this too
So I
hard.
pull up the agenda here. We've got Fork Everlasting Candy. We did that. We created a world. We did that. So we're gonna save our work. So we're gonna walk through just the basic Git stuff, just to save it locally at least.
Oh, okay. Before we save it,
Mhm.
what do you think a better intro level would be to introduce this concept that we may throw the bad guy at you, but like
in the
midair,
air.
you know?
So in that case, I would say like I'm just gonna do it gesture in the air here. I would say almost like just have like two platforms that you can't jump between unless you bounce on one of the guys in the middle. So like you force them. You basically are forcing them. I mean, I guess you could go around the other side, but no, you have to kill all the bad guys to beat the level, right? It's like put it somewhere where like the only option is just one bad guy. You're just introducing one new thing, one bad guy that you have to jump on to beat the level.
I'm gonna make the change.
All right.
This is an unfair expectation. Yeah. So, okay. So I'll put instead of terrain there, I'll have a single bad guy. Maybe make this not possible to reach.
Yeah. Again, you can always wrap, right? You know, you could always just walk left, but like you have to get the bad guys to beat the level anyway. So I was gonna say even just a simple, just like in the middle, two platforms, just like here's a platform, here's a bad guy in the middle, here's another platform. You've got to learn. He's like, well, I got to jump across it.
Got it.
I
like it.
Kind of forces you to be like, that's how you do it. You go on your eraser. I see what you mean.
Dude, every time. Okay. And I also would submit that being goofy here, just trying to do it quick, this is not really a fun challenge to come flying at something that you have no time to react to.
Yeah.
And then I got lucky. But if I hadn't, I would not have enjoyed that challenge. That is not.
Right. It'd be like, come on.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's one of those kind of moves. So let's instead, like you. Oh, the eraser.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You gotta learn your keyboard shortcuts. You got E and what's the pencil one? Is it P or something?
E.
Or D for draw.
Oh,
it's
draw.
paint. That's why they call
paint.
it paint, but it's draw. D for draw. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
you've got your little guy patrolling there or something.
And maybe this is too far.
Yeah, you could shorten it because again, like the player's gonna be forced to do this anyway because
they have to get the goober.
Yeah, they have to get the goober to beat the game. Yep.
Right. He's gonna fall in just because that's funny. Okay, but he won't die now.
All
right. So let's try this again. Oh, let me make it big. Reasonable now.
Mm-hmm. Level complete.
Oh, but he doesn't have to. Got it. Last change. When you get the final bad guy, it just ends, but I want you to have to land it, so I'm going to put one bad guy here.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't play it again, but you get the idea.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to jump over and land. Okay, cool. Oh, I have to save it, though. So let me just do this.
Do goobers wrap? I forget.
What's that?
Do goobers wrap? Like, will that one wrap around on your side?
Now I have to play it. And I also realized...
I don't think they do, but...
My understanding, the wrap mechanic, I could just sneak around and get him.
Right, but you're still forced to like. Well, you can't skip jumping on the guy at some point.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Does the goober wrap?
Yes.
Okay, the goober wraps. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we could put them at different levels or something slightly. But yeah, that's the idea. Cool.
I
get
get
fun.
it. Okay. Cool. Saved locally, but now the first thing I want to do is save it to my Git repository on this machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the main branch right now. I don't know if I love that.
Yeah, I would probably name it something. I mean, again, you could just have it on your main because you're working in a fork, but it's probably better just to name it something like new world or something. So you're git switch and you're doing create -c is create and you're saying first new world. Cool.
Does that look right to you to create a new branch?
Yeah, should be good.
Git switch space -c for create, and then you can't put a bunch of spaces in the name of a branch, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So usually just like all lowercase with dashes to separate words is pretty standard. Yep.
And I've learned, I actually like your name better. I've learned not to make these too long if you have to retype them later.
Right, because you're gonna have to. Yeah, exactly. You might have to type it. So git switch C new world. So now you're working in the new world branch, and I always do the git status, right? To be like, okay, what changed here?
See, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just started adding. Okay, now those things, can we say that a lot of this is the new stuff? We didn't change this, or
Well, so no, it's those .import files. It's
yeah.
probably because of the line ending thing. But if you should just be able to say git add and just add worlds / start typing just, and then you can hit tab. This is how I would do this.
Because this line right here, it's
you're just gonna add your folder, and that's it. You can just add the whole folder.
Why does it have extra
backslashes?
Yeah, what's going
those
on?
are
That
those are
doesn't look like that.
called right. Those are called escape characters. So it's because they're special characters. Like a space, like if you just had a space in there, it doesn't know that you're not done typing the name and typing something else, so it puts a backslash before it. Same with the ampersand. It's like a special character. Luckily, when you tab complete, it does that stuff automatically. The other thing you could do instead is you could put the whole thing in quotes. So you could say git add and then quote worlds / Justin and Cassidy space world end quote, and it would also work that way. But that's why I like tab completion, because it just kind of takes care of a lot of that for you.
Yeah, that's if I'm not just doing the git add space dot, which adds everything you've done. If I have to be more careful than that, I'd probably do what you just showed me, which is I typed in a little bit of it and then
hit tab.
Hit the tab button. And it just okay.
Again, in this case, you probably could just say git add dot, but I want to start getting in the habit of the like git add only what you know you've changed, because that's you're less likely to mess things up. And it is doing that CRLF thing, because we're working with some people on Linux and some people on Windows.
So all of this can be safely ignored. This is just okay. So it did successfully add. 2-stage process to save my stuff, though. Now I have to do git commit, right?
Right. You've added it to say, hey, track these new files, and now you're committing it to say, actually commit these changes to memory.
-M for a message for the commit, so that I don't just leave it unnamed, and that's sort of sloppy. And then I myself or someone else looking for any kind of information about what I did, it would kind of not be very clean.
I don't think it'll actually let you not give it a message. If you don't do the -M, if you just say git commit, it'll actually like pop up a window or like in Vim or whatever in your terminal and like make you type a message there. But this is just this is just the shorthand way to do it, which is nice. So git commit message. And similarly with the naming here, I would usually try to keep these a little, what's the word? The opposite of verbose. What's the word? Concise. That's the word I'm looking for.
Is this too long?
It's fine. I would probably say just like add. You could just say like add Justin and Cassidy's world or something. Just like short and sweet. And I forget. There's the different people have different opinions on this, but you can do was it imperative, like add Justin and Cassidy world, or you could say added. It doesn't make a big difference. And different projects have different conventions too. So, but yeah,
okay,
that works.
Enter.
Short and sweet.
Oh, that's my name of my folder. Never mind. Okay, I'm good. Okay. So then it shows the files changed.
Yep. It said, okay, we created this Justin Cassidy World 0, 1, and 999. And so now it's saved on your computer.
Cool.
And it's committed to your Git on your computer, but it's not pushed up anywhere, right?
Right. And I cloned my forked repository for this.
Yeah.
I'm connected to GitHub, and I'm connected right now specifically to my forked version of the game.
Exactly. So your remote is the term they use is remote. Like your remote is your fork. So the remote that you're set to. So you can just push this and actually do git push and see what happens.
Git push.
It's gonna go. Actually,
didn't like that because it says. Let me try to figure this out.
Yeah.
You set remote as upstream. In other words, you have to officially tell it where you want it to automatically go from now on when you push, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's specifically it's because you created a new branch, and that branch doesn't exist upstream. If there was a branch called New World in your fork already, it would try to push there. But since there's no branch called that yet on GitHub's side, so it's like where do you want this to go? So you just have to say, and you can literally copy paste that git push -- upstream from there. Although it's the same thing, you can't hit Control-C. You have to like right click and copy.
That's okay. Annoying. I don't want to retype this.
Yeah, exactly. Copy and paste.
Thank you. Git.
Yep. And then hit enter there, and should be good to say, okay,
And
now
now
it's
from now on, if I kept working, if I had made more changes in
yeah,
this new world branch, I wouldn't have to teach. Yeah.
exactly. The next time you push, because it knows about that world, that branch. And actually, if you go to GitHub, that's actually a handy thing to do now. If you go to GitHub in the browser, it pushed there. So there will be, look at that, new world had recent pushes 14 seconds ago. So that's
There it
our branch.
Let's take a look.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says it's one commit ahead of, and you'll notice it says there, endless m/everlasting candy main, where it says this branch is one commit just above your cursor.
Yep. Yeah.
So it still is associated to that
Still connected.
endless, the upstream, the original upstream.
And then what's going on here? So this is
Yeah, so it's weird. There's like a million different ways because they make it handy. The nice big giant green button up at the very top in that yellow banner is probably the easiest way to do it. You can say compare and pull request, and you'll see when you click it, it will give you a little like chooser up at the top.
Options.
Yeah.
So all this up here is like, okay, you want to compare changes to some other branch somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It might be your forked version. It might be the endless M one.
Yeah.
And you are also telling GitHub that you'd like to do a pull request. So you get to choose like where the the request
where it's made against.
Goes.
Exactly.
And when we say pull request again, we're essentially asking for an official acceptance of our change into the some other branch.
Yeah, exactly. Any other branch. In this case, the default is the base repository, the upstream repository, the endless M one. So you could
Should
like
we do that?
I think we can. I mean, again, it'll. So far, maybe we'll do a draft request and just say, this is a demo for the project. But if we actually in future streams or something build a cool level, we could actually add it. I will say if you were working with a team of people and you weren't ready to merge your work into the official endless, the actual game, this is where you could request to pull it into somebody else's fork. Even you could say, hey, I want, like, if you click that where it says base repository there,
the other people that have forked this will show up here.
I believe they will. Yeah. So see how it has JBork, it has that there. It'll have a list of the other forks as well that it can be pulled against. It can be
very cool
compared against. So yeah, in this case, I think we can say, and the reason it's showing your name there is because since we're in the new world branch, we could just have this be a pull request from the new world branch to your own main branch as well.
Yes.
So that's a way you can you'd be like, oh, I'm not ready to merge it in the upstream, but I still want to have the pull request workflow of like people can comment on these changes. I can put screenshots in this pull request. You can do that sort of workflow even without pushing it all the way up to the original.
What do you mean? You mean like it's like a series of documentations about what you just did? Like that makes it, that like records it?
Yeah, you could do it that way to say like, okay, this is ready to be merged into my main branch, but it's not ready to be merged into like the upstream. So you could do it that way. Again, doing a pull request for your own work is probably less common. That's more common if you're working with a team of people. Okay. But you still could do that. Like if you gave me permission to your JBork endless everlasting candy repo on GitHub, then I could pull your fork down and I could file a pull request against your fork.
All of which
and
is
we'd be
not
collaborating
to the main.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to do that. I'd actually like to
we'll do that.
So I'm going to change this base to my base.
Okay. Yeah.
My main branch, which my new world branch in my forked repository, the main branch of my forked repository, GitHub likes it. Am I good? Just because GitHub likes it, or?
Yeah, and if you scroll down, down is the cool thing. It'll show you the actual changes. So these are the,
oh my God, tile maps look crazy.
Yeah, it's a packed byte array. It's a bunch of gibberish basically, but it shows you.
Yeah.
It's not like human readable text or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it shows you which files changed and their names, which is nice.
Cool.
And it also kind of helps you know, like, oh, I didn't change anything outside of that folder that we're supposed to be working in, which is nice. So yeah, you can definitely do this and do a create pull request. So it's gonna pull it against your own main branch.
This this tells me, and some other day we can talk about this,
Yeah.
but that actual number I don't understand compared to
Yeah.
what I was clicking on. Like
Yeah.
I don't really understand what GitHub calls it an addition versus what my brain would call an
It's
addition to the game.
it's pretty simple, and you're not probably gonna like it, but it's literally lines of code. That's all it
Oh,
is. That's all it is.
so
Yep.
those are additional lines of code.
Yep. If you
that have
count
to
up
be.
here, we have what, 8 lines in this file.
Oh,
8 lines in this file.
8
and
times
8
3.
lines in
Got
that
it.
file. So it's
Got
like,
it.
yeah, it
Okay.
literally is. So again, that's a little bit more useful if you're actually you're writing code. It'll say like, oh, this person wrote, added 100 lines of code and deleted 12 lines of code or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
helpful in that way. For this sort
And
of
I
thing,
mean,
it's not as helpful.
I know there's so many aspects to doing game development or game design where you're working within an engine. And there will be many times where it is lines of code, but there are probably also a ton of times where just
Yeah.
these
You're
kinds
not
of
actually the
files.
one writing the code. The
Yeah,
engine is
right.
writing the code effectively. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do I have to write something here if I'm trying to document? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have. I would have just said, well, it's just me, and then I would have created a pull request.
Right.
But
Yeah. I would here just for this documentation. This is
okay.
kind of like where when you make a commit, you can have like a title and then a description, and the description usually goes into the why you did it. So your title is the what and your description is the why. Or
description is
more
the why.
details. It really depends. Yeah. In this
Okay.
case, it's like, well, because I wanted to make a new world. Like, it's fine. But what I can do, I'll have you add me. This is actually a good one. We didn't plan this part out, but I'll have you do this after you make this pull request. I'm going to have you add me as a collaborator on this repo.
Okay.
And then is that getting too confusing? Are we doing too many things at once?
Well, let's just do this first.
Okay.
Added Justin and Cassidy World. That title was filled in because
Yep.
of my
Came from the commit.
I just wanted to make my own set of levels, so added a new folder for a separate world that will hold all my new levels.
Great.
Does that work? Okay.
That's descriptive.
Create a pull request. And this is an auto check that is not perfect, but it's what? Looking for really obvious conflicts?
Yeah, so what it does by default is like if somebody else had pushed something to the main branch right now that was totally added the exact same files with the exact same names with different contents, let's say, then it would be like we can't just automatically merge that. Like a human has to decide which one wins.
Someone take a look and help me decide. Yeah, got it. Okay.
But here it goes, well, yeah, this is easy enough. It also, there's that line that says continuous integration has not been set up. That's something we might add later in the upstream repo too, to say like, to make sure people aren't editing the wrong files or something. So we could do more checks there. So there could be more checks that say like edited the correct files or whatever. But yeah, long as if it shows all green, then you're good. You're good to merge.
Okay.
And because this is, because this is your fork that you have permissions to, you have that button that says merge pull request. Now, if you had made this request against the upstream, it wouldn't say merge pull request for you. It would just say like, it would be like
your own.
Exactly. It would be like, hey, okay, this has been made. Now a maintainer, somebody who has the right permissions, could come in and click merge.
Got it.
And they could also do a code review, which again, we can show that in a minute. I think it'll be helpful to do that because this will be more like how people are collaborating.
And a kind of like panic button here is I can close this and change my mind right here.
Yeah, you can close it. It won't merge it in. It'll just close it. It'll still keep the history there, which is kind of nice. It's not like a delete all record of it, which I like. I like that because it's like, you might be like, oh, actually, I decided against this. I closed it, but you still have that history, which is really helpful.
And a comment field again for why you did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna merge. Oh, okay. Yes, I really want to merge.
Yeah, and here you could set a different title and description for the merge commit itself. That's fine.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And then interestingly here, you'll see that button on the right says delete branch. So if you don't plan to push to that new world branch anymore, you can say, I'm done with it. You can delete that branch too to kind of clean things up.
I mean, in my mind, its purpose is done. Like I wanted to create one new world, so I'm going to delete it because its contents are now in the main. Okay.
Yep.
Now, did you want me to bring you into this?
Yeah, so if you go into the settings on the repo, since this is your fork, you have all the permissions to change all the settings, right?
Yep. Collaborator.
Mm-hmm. And you can add, it should be I gotta remember what my demo GitHub account is. It's like Cassidy Endless or something, I think. Let me double check though.
There is a Cassidy Endless.
That should be me. I'm pretty sure
That
that's
would be
it.
surprising if I bring
Right.
this live and bring
Some
someone
random
else. And
person
they're
just
like,
comes
hey,
in.
cool game. Cool game. What am I doing here? Okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully you got
that's me.
this. All right.
So then
good.
I'm gonna do. I haven't booted up my Windows computer for a while, so it might be a little crusty here. But let's see if I can share it.
Help me out. Why am I bringing you in on this one?
So I can show again what a pull request. I'll make a change on my computer.
Okay.
And this would be our team. Like, let's say this is our team
Okay,
repo.
got it.
So I'm going to contribute here before we even say we want to merge it up to the main game. We can collaborate here, and I think that's
Off
worth
to the
demoing.
side. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to share. Let's see. Share. Duplicate.
I
my
love how it
screen.
does stay connected though. So
Yeah.
you are off to the side, but yet in both directions, I could get new stuff from the original, or I can, if we created some magic, we could actually do a pull request back to the main and say, we really want this in the game.
Right.
And start that dialogue.
For some reason, my screen share was like tiny. The resolution was weird. Or
Oh,
something.
do you want me to stop sharing?
Oh, no, you're good. I'm good. I'm sharing my screen now. So, which you can't see, can you? Let's do this.
Stop sharing. Well, I could see the other side though.
True. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, now you can see what I can see, at least, or at least what the stream sees. Okay, and this might get a little laggy since I'm doing lots of sharing, but it should be okay. So yeah, I'm on my my GitHub account here, and I should have a notification. I'm just gonna reload. Yeah, okay. I should have a new notification here. I think I also get an email, and I think if I go directly to your repo, it'll have a thing. But here's an invitation to join, and I can accept that. And so now it took me right there to your fork of Everlasting Candy. Oh, and this is also interesting. It's showing you that your main branch is a little confusing. Since you did a pull request and a merge, it actually creates a commit for that merge.
Okay.
So it has added Justin Cassidy World and it says merge pull request 1. It's a little confusing. I honestly don't fully understand why it is 2 commits instead of just the 1. But that's how that works when you do a pull request.
But the basic idea is I did push those new changes to the main part of our this forked repository. Okay.
Yeah. And then I can go here and I can say, I want to. Here, I'll do it with GitHub Desktop. We'll get that little demo in real quick.
Yeah. Okay, now we can do both.
And I can say,
now you're talking about a much more visual way to interact with Git on your computer.
Yeah, it does all the exact same functionality. It's just in a user interface instead of having to type commands, which again, either are totally fine. They work exactly the same under the hood. You might learn a bit more if you use the terminal, like a bit more of how it works technically. But honestly, they do all the same things. So cool. It is totally fine to do it this way. So it's saying, okay, clone a repository. It automatically filled this in because I just hit on the web. I just hit this open with GitHub Desktop because honestly, that's super easy. And it just like
copies it and brings it in.
It opens this and says, okay, where do you want to put it? I'm gonna call it fork, Everlasting Candy fork, because I know that's our fork that we're gonna work with. So I should be able to just hit clone.
And that naming and what you're doing there, that's stuff local to your machine now. So it's not necessarily going to affect. Yeah.
Exactly. That's just a folder on my computer. Oh, so how are you planning to use this fork? You have changes on this branch. What do you want to do with them? I have changes on this. What? How do I have changes on this? This is interesting. I haven't seen this before. For my own purposes, we will help you contribute to. Oh, okay. It's basically saying, are you going to do your pull requests against the endless M one? Like if I just hit open pull request, where does it want me to send them? For now, I'm going to say I want the JBoard.
We're going to stick with our forked one, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. I'm like, okay, we're working within this fork until we're ready to actually do that.
If we're ready, we can do that after, yeah.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to squeeze this down a little bit because I know my screen share, our faces are kind of covering. Oh, I can't make any skinnier. That's okay. So here it's showing, I don't have any local changes, but I have this repository in my documents folder. So I'm going to open up.
So up there in the top left, it tells you, that's where it tells you which branch you're on and which repository.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you click this, it'll show you this. Again, it's like, this is my username, this is your username. So the branch, or this repo belongs to JBoard Endless, Everlasting Candy. But then I can just go ahead and open Godot. And hopefully everything doesn't blow up here. We're going to import, and I'm under Documents, and I should have... what do we call it? Everlasting Candy fork.
Naming matters if you want to avoid just like a lot of different things on computers. Like if you're too quick and you keep naming things the same thing over and over
It's
again,
like new project. It's like, yeah, you probably want to call it
that can
something
get
else.
messy if you're constantly
Whoops.
experimenting. Yeah.
I forget how gestures on Windows work, so sorry if I just like Alt Tab with my trackpad somehow. I didn't know that worked that way. Okay, so let's say if I wanted to come in here and I have a suggestion of like, okay, now you created those worlds, but I have some changes. If I wanted to do, how do I do this? Do I middle?
Wait, is that the one?
Oh, that's 0. I don't remember what 0 was. Here we go.
There's one.
1.
Brilliant level. Who I don't know who made this.
Amazing game designers.
Yeah. People
But
will sing songs about this level.
Of course. All right. This is actually good for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, I got to click on the tile map layer. So I get my little tile map here. And
hey, I didn't have the grid. I have that off.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think it's one of.
Oh, it's up there.
There's like grid snap. There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Player definitely. I always forget this little toolbar up here exists. So definitely play around with this little toolbar.
So much going on. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta zoom way in on these tiles. Yeah, I don't like.
Well, I wonder if it was under view.
Oh, that could be. View. Yes, you're right. View grid.
Yes.
Show and snap. Oh, see, it doesn't even say show. That's interesting. I don't. Weird.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, and then it has show rules, show guides. It has all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff there to help you out. I do not like Godot on Windows with a trackpad. I'm used to using it with a mouse, I guess.
So
and it's
awkward
like
to zoom in.
Yeah, zooming. Yes. It like zooms into the really far. But anyway,
because it zooms wherever your mouse is pointing at that moment.
Yeah, and like it's like ending up way over here in the corner. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
like,
I think
there we go.
Be good to show people like too that you can bring that make that panel as big as you need to be.
Yes. If I pull that up, yeah.
Anyway.
So if I'm gonna grab the eraser, which we decided was E. Yep. I'm gonna erase your beautiful work here,
dude.
And then I'm just gonna move it down, because I don't want that guy to wrap. I'm just moving it down one. I'm moving it down one level. So oops, I'm on the eraser. I did the same thing. D for draw. Nope.
Yeah, it's like a.
Where is it?
You have to deselect eraser.
Oh.
Draw stays on, but doesn't work.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay, I see. That is why it's confusing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna make it like a little, just down one level and over a little bit, right? Sure.
Okay.
I'll make that one wider. I don't know.
Wait, why?
So that because we didn't keep the baddie here. Did we not keep the baddie here? Oh no, I deleted the baddie because we had the baddie, the goober.
You could just wrap.
This goober came and got you.
The baddie was wrapping.
Yeah. So we don't want that. We want the baddie to stay over here on their own platform.
Yeah.
So it kind of forces you. Again, you can just go left, right? Like you can just go left. That's fine. But it's trying to teach you that you can jump on that guy's midair.
Yeah, and the baddie won't necessarily show you that you can wrap by going over there. Okay, got it.
The baddie stays over on its own little platform. Anyway, that's the idea. I don't know what's going to happen if I play this audio. It might blow everybody away, or it might not play at all. I don't think it's playing at all, so that's okay.
I don't hear it, but that's okay.
So the guy, the poor. The guy and then I accidentally wrapped. The poor. Oh no!
Clear it.
Ah! Oh. Okay, well, it's a good demo level. There you go. That's what you want to do.
Well, no, but we would just shorten that other.
Yeah.
Because you were able to make the jump. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we could build a wall so you can't wrap backwards. Like we could do a lot of things. But the idea was, oh hey, and there's the winning screen. You get all.
I just realized we have gotten the win screen for so little work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we didn't earn it.
Level.
We didn't earn that at all. No. That's okay. So it shows that I made a change, right? I made some changes. That's the idea. Make sure I'm saved. I'm gonna close this. What I didn't do is, oh yeah, see, it's doing the thing where it has all these changes.
All the changes right there.
Right, because it's the import files thing. It's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, what I can do is I can create a new branch here before I add anything or before I commit anything. I can actually create a new branch here if I want. So rather than pushing to the main, I do want to create. I'm gonna call this level. What level is it called? Was it level 1?
I think so. Yes.
Level 1 improvement.
Air quotes.
I don't know. Yeah, improvement subjective, right? That's why we're submitting a pull request.
No, and we are being very sort of cautious here because now we're on a forked repo where only you and I as a team are working together, but we're still using branches just as like a courtesy to not make the assumption that this is going to go flying into the main.
Yeah, to not step on each other's toes. Because again, right now, for all I know, on your screen that you're not sharing, you could be making other changes. Like we're trying to not step on each other's toes. So here it asks switch
Cassidy,
branch. I want to bring my changes to that branch that I just made because I didn't make that branch ahead of time. It's being kind of smart about that. So
okay.
it's doing a little bit of like git add stuff behind the scene without telling us, which is fine. What were you gonna say? You started to say, Cassidy.
I was
sorry.
gonna say we're a tiny team of 2 people. Would we?
Yeah.
But would we be talking right now? Would you have told me, "Hey, I'm jumping in. I'm gonna make a level change." Can
I
you
could.
just so you know?
Yeah. It could go either way, right? Like if we were in Discord or Slack or something together and chatting or on a call or whatever, I could be like, hey, I'm going to go make some improvements. But it also could be that like you were done with your work, you went to bed, I saw the change, and I was like, ooh, that's good, but I can make it a little bit better. And so asynchronously, totally separately, I could be like, hey, I want to do this. But again, so that we're being polite to each other and not stepping on each other's toes, I'm doing it in a branch and then going to do a pull request.
That will avoid,
Yeah. And this is a little where this gets a little weird, is because it's like GitHub Desktop's automatically doing the git add part. It's saying, okay, all these things changed. Again, this is maybe not super realistic because this is probably depending on how we configured Git on our computers with the line ending things. I'm going to leave it because it should actually not matter. Okay. It does say there was a change in, that's fine. I'll leave it. But I could say, oh wow, that's a weird scroll thing.
To ignore certain things?
Yeah, I could like deselect, or here, there, I was looking for it. This little checkbox here. I could deselect everything and just say I only made a change to, I didn't even change anything in the 0 world on purpose. I really only changed world 1 on purpose.
Well, can you actually do that, Cassidy?
Sure.
Because that's what we did in the command line, right? You had me.
We said git add.
Just add everything. You had me add that one line. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what this
is how that would look.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of git add, it's just check the box. It's very similar. Under the hood, it's doing git add.
And the angry red in the main part of your screen is not a bad thing. It's just showing what was removed versus what was added.
Yes, this is called a diff. It's the difference between 2 files. So it's saying we deleted this red, we added the green. It's not colorblind friendly, so I don't know if there's a setting for that. Okay. But it's always, I guess they also have the minus right here. It's really tiny, but it'll start the line with a minus to say what was deleted and a plus for what was added. And if I maximize, and again, this is a case where it's like it's not human readable. It's not supposed to be human readable. So, if this was real code that we were typing, it'd be a little bit more obvious. It would even show what part of the line. In some cases, like, hey, he changed this character, he changed this part. Which is nice.
You say that, and it's making me think that on the left hand side, my camera's a little in the way, but all those changed the file names. Mm-hmm. And sort of the commit messages, when you have things that look like that aren't very human readable because it's like tile map changes, that data in the middle of the screen, I really lean on the names of files and the names of commit messages to understand what I'm looking at. As a non-programmer, I'm like, what is all this? Do I need to look at that? No, I don't, because over here it says world 1 scene. I know what a scene is. I use Godot.
Right.
Okay.
And this is also where your commit messages are important too, right? Like I could by default, it'll let me just commit update 1.tscn. Like it'll just be like, all right, you just kept that, whatever. But that's not super good. I want to say, and this is where I'm going to introduce my keyboard was interesting. I'm going to say level 1, because we're working within our branch. It's fine. I don't have to say like just Cassidy and Justin's world, level 1, whatever. True. I can say level 1, and this is move platform down is what I'm going to call it, or say, because that's what I changed, right? I effectively moved the 1 platform down. I redrew the map or whatever, but it was.
And you said this is going to be a little bit of a Y here?
Yep, exactly. This description can be the Y, and I can say the goober could wrap. Previously, the goober could wrap. This change moves the right platform down 1 block, 1 tile, whatever. 1 tile, so it can't. Cool. You can be, and this is where you can be super verbal, or you could say, blah, 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 this, whatever, but you can write an essay here if you really want. But this is your, what, I moved the platform, why, it's so that it can't wrap. And now I'm committing to level 1 improvement. So if I hit that, it'll commit. Now, again, just like on when you did it with the terminal, you committed and then you pushed. I also have to do that. They call it publish here in the GitHub desktop. It's the same
Oh,
thing of
that's the
this
same as
is,
pushing online to
yep,
online.
this has been committed locally. So if I was like, oh, I'm not
That's
ready
it.
to push, but
Good.
I want to keep a track of my changes, you could just commit,
Yep.
but you've got to push when you're done. So publish this branch to Git. Let me maximize this. It doesn't give
Is
me any
that
more of a description. That's funny.
publish branch? Oh, because this is a new branch.
Yeah, it's pushing and it's automatically doing that git push set upstream thing too.
Got it. Oh, it does all that for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's why,
Well,
again,
nice.
sometimes this is nice because it's like it kind of takes care. Again, you don't learn as much about how all of the Git stuff works when you use Git the desktop, but sometimes it's okay.
Okay.
So now if I go, now that I pushed, I go here. Yeah, we already have this nice level
Yep.
1 improvement, had recent pushes. Now I'm curious, if I hit compare and pull request, what's it going to compare against? Aha. So by default, it's saying
It
this
keeps
upstream.
going back to endless M, the original.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Which
move.
we don't want to do right now.
I'm going to move. Got my screen share hidden here. Sorry, you're seeing the live behind the scenes here. There we go. Just moving my face out of the way. Yeah. So we don't want to do it against that upstream. So that's where we can say this base repository. We want to make sure that's selected on our fork. Again, it's not the end of the world if you did this because it could just be closed or whatever. But I'm wanting to contribute this to your fork. So I'm saying base repository. Now you can see it even reloaded up here. It switched over to the JBork endless, and the base is main on your branch, and then I'm comparing this branch called level 1.
Yeah, basically, do not rush. Just take a second and
Make
look
sure
at where you're saving things and where you're sending things. It's not hard at all. It really isn't after a while. But I would make the mistake not because I didn't know, but because I went fast.
Exactly.
Probably is what I would do by accident. So you've got your change. You want to show it off. Take a second to actually put it in the right place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and then here you'll see it actually took that git commit message and put put the title here and then the longer description down here, which is nice. So that's another reason to do it that way, is like you can expand here. Now if I wanted to, I could even do, and I'll show this. Why not? Actually, this is actually good practice. You can include, make sure I'm in the right place, GitHub Candy or Everlasting Candy Fork. I'm going to take a screenshot of the change, and I'm going to put that in the pull request.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just going to do,
nice.
how do you take a screenshot on Windows? I literally don't remember. Print screen, right? That's a button. Did that do it?
That's
hey, cool. And I can just select, whatever this. This doesn't super
Good
matter,
enough.
but
Yeah.
and then I'm going to go back here, and I should just be able to paste in here. Yep. So
that's really valuable.
So yeah, that's awesome for people reviewing it, because they're like, they'll see your code change, but then they'll be like, they can compare it against this screenshot you took to be like, is that what I'm actually seeing? So yeah, I highly recommend that when you're working collaboratively, especially with game development stuff. It's like,
so I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier where you said you could do a draft pull request.
Yeah.
And
sure.
now I'm thinking, like, if I can add media in, right?
Mhm.
And I wanted to change a level and I'm working with you, I'm trying to get your attention in GitHub,
Mhm.
but it's more to like ask a question about my change rather than I'm really sure it should be changed. So like that screenshot might be like, why isn't this working?
Or it could be like, what do you think?
Yeah.
It literally could be this, and we could just call it a draft. So we're saying like, hey, I'm not committing to committing. Haha. I'm not like saying this is definitely ready, but I'm saying, hey, I think this would be better. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. So I can hit draft.
So draft was just the down arrow. It was just a different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was that little down arrow on the submit. And then you'll see here at the top, it shows, instead of green, it shows gray as draft. And then it'll show this pull request still a work in progress. And now if you see it on your side, I think it won't even show you a merge button. It'll say the same thing. It'll say this is still a work in progress.
Yeah.
It waits until you actually say it's ready for review, which is nice. And then you could come in and comment on here and say, oh, that's cool. What if we actually build a wall on the left side? Like, you can collaboratively use this draft pull request before it's even ready as a place to like plan your work, which I think is really valuable.
Right. So, okay, got it. That's useful. And basically these pull requests, the way I interpret them coming from outside this world is they're like, I know the end result is to have the change go into the game, but it's also like a conversation you're starting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to start a conversation about something I was doing over on my computer, and I'd like to talk about it here in GitHub to see if everyone agrees or understands what I'm doing. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, it's nice to use this, like use the pull request as your sort of public record too, because you can have conversations again with just 2 people on a project. It's maybe not as important, but if we added a third person, if we were like halfway through building this and we're like, hey, a third person joined the team, they can go back and much more easily see this history of these pull requests, even the ones that have already been merged. They can go back and they can see what has changed and why, and they can get caught up to speed much faster than if they were like scroll through the backlog on Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's, it's really again, it's technically you don't have to work this way, but it's more of a process thing of like, it's gonna work better for you if you keep your pull requests. It's associated to the changes, right? This conversation we have here, you can always go and see what has changed in the code itself. It's your public record. So super helpful for that. So I'm going to hit ready for review. Then can we jump back over on your machine?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me move the camera. Display. Can you see mine?
Yep. We're on yours.
All right. Let me hit refresh. Oh, I won't necessarily have that, will I?
You should. It won't show you that like bar at the very top, but it should show under pull requests, and I think it'll be in your GitHub notifications.
Oh, pull requests here.
Mm-hmm.
Here. I see.
Yeah.
Didn't I do a pull request and a merge?
Yes. So, but it's a closed. Right now, it's just showing the open ones, right? Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So you can only see the closed ones there.
Okay, the icon changes. Got it. Okay, so I open this. This is cool.
Ooh,
I'm not very critical of your change.
Before you hit comment on there, actually, can you show if you go up to, if you scroll up to where it says files changed, hit that. And this is interesting. It's a little hidden. Now there's a green button all the way there on the right that says review changes. Again, this is going to be more important when you are doing more code changes. But this is where
closer to specific.
Yeah, but this is where you can explicitly choose that this is just a comment, or I'm approving it, or I'm requesting changes to it. Like if you said, oh, can we add a wall to the left? You could say request changes. But like in this case, if you're like, yeah, great, let's merge it, you can do that with that approve.
Okay.
And that's gonna become more important with, again, more collaborative stuff. But that's how you do what's called like a code review, rather than just leaving a comment.
Okay.
So, and it'll show. Go ahead and do it so we can see what it shows. Just so we can demonstrate, because you can set up rules on your project that say like all pull requests have to be approved before they can be merged.
So you want me to leave something?
No, you can say approve. That's fine. Like just but say, it looks great. Let's do it. But do it here and then select that approve and submit the review. Just so that we are showing what it looks like when somebody approves a change. And it's a little weird because it's like it's the same thing, but I want to show there's like you get an extra little green check mark that I want to show.
Got it.
So yeah. So now did you select approve or did it just
what did I do?
I'm
wrong?
not sure.
I hit comment. I left a comment.
Gotcha. So now you could go back up and hit on that. You go scroll up and go to the files changed. Okay. Again, I don't know why they make it kind of hidden like this. I guess it's because the idea is you're actually reading the changes. Yeah, so you select approve there. Now you could just hit approve and it'd be fine, or you could leave.
I'm gonna write no, really. I like it.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're gonna submit, and now if we see it, so it'll say JBork. It gives you that big green check mark there next to your name too in the comment. It says he approved these changes now. And then it says one approval there in that little box. So like, again, there's like, this will become more important. This is probably how like on the end list, the actual upstream one, it'll work. Like we can't click that merge button until we actually have somebody approve it.
So then you'd see this would light up green.
And then it would be green and then we can merge it. So yeah, now you can go ahead and merge. But I wanted to demonstrate that just a little bit because it's like, it's a little bit hidden to get to that review changes thing. So I wanted to show
Well,
how
I
that
have a
works.
question before we
Yeah.
change, before we start. We just did what we wanted to do, so that's great.
Yeah.
Before we log off here
Yeah.
or sign off, do we want to actually?
Do
That
a
says
pull
pull
request.
request exclamation point. Is that
Exclamation
because
point.
we're gonna do a real like a pull request back to?
I think so. That was the idea. I think let's do
All
it.
right, all
I think
right.
let's do it. Again, worst case, it could be just be rejected, right? So
Denied.
yeah. So I'm gonna pull up our screen again. I'll let you do let you demonstrate this. I
Denied.
guess.
Denied by like how does that work? Denied by who and how does the process usually go? Yeah.
Yeah. So the let's see. How much detail? um, whoever's the maintainer of the repository that you're pull requesting against, they're the ultimate person who says yes, it's approved, it's merged in. And in this case, that's going to be like if we're doing a pull request against the Endless Everlasting Candy project, then that's going to be people who are at Endless,
Cool.
at least for right now. In the future, it could be if there are people who are contributing a lot and we're like, yep, they're trusted, they've kind of proved their merits here, we could invite them in as a maintainer as well. So you can do it. It doesn't have to always just be people who work at Endless, and ideally it wouldn't be. It would be people who actually are interested and take on that role, and they're given that role by the current maintainers.
Okay. So if I do get it denied, I'm assuming it will come with a message of why.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like that review that you saw when you saw you could approve it or you could request changes. You can put the message in there, and they could say, oh, hey, this only has one level and you didn't change the title screen. So, please change the title screen and then push. Or, which very well could be what they say, right? But I think it's good to go through that process.
Yeah, and given that, it might, I don't know, who knows, but it might be easier given that we are safely within a folder of like custom game, like a custom world. So
there's
instead
less
of trying to change,
right. We didn't go change random other files. That would be something if we had changed other files. Like deleted.
We didn't go into here.
Yeah, we didn't change. Yeah, the original game at all. Yep, just stayed within our folder.
Cool. So do I go to contribute?
I think so. This is actually I'm trying to remember where it shows up. Yes, because it says this branch is 4 commits ahead of Endless and Everlasting Candy main. You can say open a pull request. So now it shows that base repository is endless m/everlasting candy.
Created custom world.
I would similarly, I'd just say like, add Justin and Cassidy world, something like that. And then in your description, you could say, you could be, honestly, because our colleagues are going to see this, you can say, this was a demo for a live stream, but we could merge it in, let us know what you think, maybe, something like that. Like, but you don't have to do a draft. You could just do it as a real pull request and then.
Okay.
See. Maybe we'll revisit this in a future live stream and see what they said.
But can we add it, please? But
yeah, sure. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And if you scroll down again here before you hit create pull request again, this is where if you.
Okay. Here.
If you scroll down a bit more, just see this is where it'll say, hey, here are the commits and here are the people that made them, and then here are the actual changes in the code. So like again, this is kind of your like, am I doing the right? Does this look right? You can kind of review that before you hit create pull request. But yeah, this looks right to me.
Awesome. Oh, and I'm allowing them to also just go ahead and make edits?
Yeah, I always recommend people check that box. Like there's usually not a reason not to. It means like if there's like a one line little goofy change that you accidentally, whatever, like they can just go in and be like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to fix this one thing and then merge it in rather than them having to like merge it. Like it makes it way easier for the maintainers if you allow edits. And there we go. Now that's a real pull request on the real upstream.
No merge button. I can't just do that.
Yeah, you don't have permissions.
Only those with write access. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yep.
So I wait.
Yeah.
And now we play the waiting game.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And there we go. We did it, I think. Let me pull up the agenda again here. So we said we forked Everlasting Candy to your account. We created a world, just the Justin and Cassidy world. We saved it locally. We pushed it onto your fork, and then we actually made the pull request for the upstream. We did a little bit more than we originally planned. We did a
Yeah, I mean,
couple extra pull requests, but I think it's helpful for the repetition, right?
this is why we didn't. By the way, we were joking about me going crazy with the level. I mean, but this, because there's this getting comfortable with this process will allow you later, when you start to really go crazy and you want to make a bunch of worlds, do different things, and you're really focused on Godot and learning something there. This hopefully will start to become very second nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so we spent a little more time today in
Yeah.
Git and GitHub, but I think that's a good thing, because then you can get back to sort of the creative game design space, and feel comfortable about where it's going. Yeah.
I guess we ended up showing 3 pull requests total, so that's
We ha-
right.
we
You did
had-
your own pull request. I did my pull request to your repo, and then we did the pull request to the upstream. So
I think it's the repetition's
repetition's good.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we'll put timestamps in if people are done
Yeah,
after
for
one
sure.
pull request. But I think we talked about this, but like before we go, I just wanted to hear
Yeah.
so last time we talked, you really wanted spikes in your level,
Yeah.
and because I love the animation panel, have
Mhm.
these dreams of like animating platforms everywhere,
Yeah.
like still using the existing space.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll admit, I was playing around, I discovered is, if you put one of those baddies and you put you make your own platform, and you put the platform's hitbox, you put the baddie right on top, the baddie will stick to it and patrol on your moving platform.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know,
So it would
I didn't
work.
quite
Yeah.
understand what would happen because I
Right.
wasn't changing any of the script.
Yeah,
but
you
it
didn't
does
actually
work.
read the code itself or
Yeah,
change
yeah.
any code. That is cool. That's cool. So yeah,
So-
that offers some flexibility of like staying within your own world that you've made, but then doing some more interesting things.
And your category is truly like traps. What kind
Yeah.
of traps can
Or
we have?
yeah,
Spikes is
more
one.
traps
Yeah.
or hazards, I guess. Yeah, like adding hazards
Hazards,
of
yeah.
like, because really the only hazard in the game built in is the baddies, the goobers. But if you can get rid of those by jumping on them, but if there are other hazards that you can't get rid of, then it could be way more interesting level design, I think.
Cool.
Not
To
that
be
the original
continued
game
then,
is
so-
not hard enough.
No,
I
no, we're
don't
just
know
making
that
it-
I've beat the original game. I think I've gotten to like level 12 or something, but
Yeah, it was small in scope, so
yeah.
It's fun to sort of imagine. Like, what I think would be creative and fun is to keep the through line, to keep that heart of that, but then see within that constraint what can I do to that limited space to
Yeah.
add a new element. But
Yeah,
cool.
It's pretty cool. All right,
Awesome.
I think that's everything for today. Thanks everybody for joining.
I almost
And,
said that's a wrap.
that's a
and then
wrap.
only
It's a
thought of
candy
candy wrapper.
It's an
Yeah, and I was like,
everlasting
don't make the
candy
joke.
wrapper. It's a wrap. Now you did it. You got to do it. You got to own it, right?
It's out there now.
All right. Thanks
Cool.
everybody for joining us. Yeah, we'll put timestamps in, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Cassidy.